Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the State House this afternoon. This is a really momentous day for Massachusetts, and I'm just so proud to be here today to stand alongside so many people who make so much possible. Make so much possible not just for Massachusetts, not just for the United States of America, but honestly for the world. You know, so much is powered by Massachusetts, and we should be real proud of that. Now, the major initiative that I'm announcing today is an initiative to support, to grow the Massachusetts economy, to create jobs across our state, and to ensure that Massachusetts remains the global leader that it is in research, discovery, and innovation. I'm delighted to be joined by Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, Treasurer Deb Goldberg, legislative leaders, including chairs of very important committees, Healthcare Finance, Legislators Friedman and Lawn, Economic Development, Feingold and Fiola, Higher Education, Comerford and Rogers, Ways and Means, Rodrigues and Michaelwitz, among other legislators who are here in the building today and are so integral to the work that we do. I'm also thrilled to be joined by so many leaders from across our administration, so many folks from agencies and heads of departments, too many to name, but everybody is in on this together in the Team Massachusetts spirit that we bring every day. Also with us today are leaders representing the greatest innovation ecosystem in the entire world. Leaders from our world-class universities and research institutes, healthcare leaders from nationally top-ranked hospitals right here in Massachusetts, leaders from our unmatched startup community, leaders from life sciences companies that make us the global hub of medical innovation, and business leaders who are representing our outstanding employers, labor leaders representing our talented workforce across this state. We're all here today because Massachusetts is America's leader in healthcare, in innovation, and discovery. There's no state that packs a punch like Massachusetts. This is one of the reasons and this is one of the reasons that year after year, discovery after discovery, people around the world are saved by science and saved by Massachusetts science. That's an amazing and wonderful thing and something to celebrate. We lead in per capita research funding from across government, industry, and academia. We lead in the percentage of STEM graduates that we educate in our colleges and employ in our workforce. In fact, 1 out of every 10 R&D jobs in this country is right here in Massachusetts. 1 in 10, amazing. That's why we also lead the world when it comes to cures and treatments and inventions and discoveries that save lives. I think about what's happening right now in Massachusetts. Understand this term, programmable therapeutics, base editing. These things you're going to see, folks, very soon that will transform health and wellness and healthcare around the world. It's powered right from Massachusetts. You know I brag all the time that we're the state where it all began. We're going to celebrate 250 years this year and next year. We've been doing this, inventing, evolving, throughout history. And that's what makes us a special place, and that's why our future is so strong. Now, this leadership is also foundational to our economy because every dollar that's invested in research brings back so much more to our state in so many different ways. These benefits come in the form of jobs for our community, and we're going to hear in just a little bit about that. Because these are jobs not just for our scientists and folks in labs, these are jobs for construction workers who build them, the support staff at hospitals, universities, and life science companies, the owners and employees of stores and restaurants that surround them, the legal, real estate, architecture, accounting teams that serve them, the manufacturers of medical and lab equipment, and the drivers who transport all of these goods. In fact, 2 out of every 5 jobs created by science funding are in sectors outside, totally outside of research and development. So in this moment, with uncertainty in Washington, in the face of competition from places like China, we are stepping forward, Massachusetts, to lead. We are not just going to survive, we are going to thrive like never, ever before. We're taking action, okay? Here's what this looks like. We're taking action to secure scientific progress and advance the medical cures patients are depending on. And just as critically, we're taking measures that are critical to protect our economy and create jobs all across this state. Today, I'm announcing the DRIVE Initiative, okay? The DRIVE Initiative, a $400 million investment in discovery, research, and innovation for a vibrant economy. We're doing something that no other state is doing. I don't know if anybody else in the world is doing what we are going to do. This is legislation that drives job creation. It invests in research projects at universities, hospitals, and institutes, projects that deliver clear public benefit and create jobs. This is an investment in talent and research, in know-how, in innovation. This is an investment in industry partnership at our public, state colleges and universities. This is also going to create a mechanism for pulling in public and private investment in addition, ways to uniquely finance and leverage these public dollars. This is truly a Team Massachusetts effort. We're bringing together leaders from research, education, and industry to develop a long-term strategy for our state. This isn't just about filling gaps left by federal cuts. This is forward-looking, it's innovative, it's an economic driver and a job creator, and it is going to power the world. We're seizing another opportunity for Massachusetts to lead and to ensure another generation of Massachusetts entrepreneurship, innovation, and results. It also will fund support much needed for our hospitals and health safety net in the face of Medicaid cuts. All of this has to work together. I talked about the economic impact of this research investment and how it creates jobs and opportunities throughout our economy. The Donahue Institute at UMass just studied this, in fact. They found that nearly $9 billion in federal research funding that Massachusetts annually receives creates over $16 billion in economic activity and supports over 80,000 jobs statewide. That return on investment is hard to beat, and that's just the investment, the return within the life sciences research space alone. What does it look like in our state more concretely? It's companies like Biogen, rooted in research at MIT and Harvard, and now one of the largest biotech companies in the world, saving lives, employing thousands. I want to thank CEO Chris Wiebacher, who is here with us today. Another example, UMass Chan Medical School, in recent years has received more NIH funding than 26 other states. That's amazing. It's a research powerhouse, a gem, an asset for the Commonwealth. With this funding, scientists at UMass Chan have pioneered the discovery of RNA biology and developed its potential for treating a wide range of diseases. 2 of their scientists have won Nobel Prizes, right? Amazing. Craig Mello back in 2006 and Victor Ambros 2 years ago in 2024. Okay? That's out of UMass. Other UMass scientists went on to co-found companies like Interim here in Massachusetts. It grew with the help of state tax incentives. And now it's a global leader in producing therapies for deadly and debilitating conditions that were once thought to be untreatable. The company's footprint is something that goes beyond Greater Boston. We talk a lot about this incredible ecosystem right within Boston and Cambridge and the like. But we're talking about an ecosystem and an investment today that is truly statewide. When I think about Interim, it's built a $200 million, 200,000 square foot biomanufacturing facility in southeastern Mass in Norton. It's an example of what is happening right now. An investment that created great building trades, construction jobs. It's created hundreds more permanent jobs, filled, by the way, by workers who don't need advanced degrees. And this plant is creating local jobs, investing in our tradespeople, service providers, and equipment makers. Its workers are patronizing local businesses, supporting jobs in restaurants, stores, gyms, cleaners, bakeries, and so much more. All of this is economic activity, and it's all good. And if you trace it back, where does it go? Funding that was given to UMass. It's an amazing case study of what's possible and what's possible with this kind of investment. And it's the kind of success that together we can and we will continue to drive forward in Massachusetts through this initiative. This is Massachusetts. Our innovative spirit, our entrepreneurial spirit, our teamwork, our ability to engage and harness all our assets, whether it's the use of our amazing colleges and universities, our research institutes, the brain power, the workforce, leadership in government, in the private sector, everybody working together. This is Team Massachusetts at our best. And today we are leaning into those things that make Massachusetts so special, because that is who we are. And with that, I'd now like to invite our good friend, President Meehan, to the podium. I also want to acknowledge that in addition to the folks I named earlier, we're joined by Representative Howard, Rep. McGregor, Rep. Kasner, Rep. Lenatra, Rep. Dahm, among others. Thank you very much for being here. And here is the leader of our great state university system, Marty Meehan.
Thank you very much, Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll. And I want to thank the entire Healey-Driscoll administration for this unprecedented initiative. Today is an important and historic day for Massachusetts and its future. After World War II, the United States made a commitment to have the federal government partner with America's research universities and academic hospitals to build a better and more competitive nation. As a result, we got the strongest economy the world had ever known, and that was a creation. We got cures to many of the world's major diseases were discovered. Massachusetts became a world leader in discovery, research, and innovation. The governor mentioned the economic impact of our research engine in Massachusetts, and I think it bears repeating. Nearly $9 billion in federal research and development funding, supporting over 81,000 jobs in Massachusetts, nearly $8 billion in income for Massachusetts, and $16 billion in economic activities. Jobs are in jeopardy, and not just in our research institutions. Every sector, from healthcare to construction to retail to food services. Governor Healey today is sending a message that Massachusetts is standing up for research, innovation, and jobs. The governor's initiative will protect Massachusetts' world-renowned research and innovation economy and create thousands of new jobs. The governor mentioned we have 2 Nobel Prize winners at UMass Medical, and I can tell you we don't intend to lose them. The medical school has had 70 NIH grants that have been terminated. worth more than $42 million this year. Canceling these merit-based grants, the federal government has slashed our research into pediatric brain tumors, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and the biological basis in substance use disorders, research that benefits all of us. With this funding, we risk losing our world-class researchers, and we are already seeing our talented UMass postdocs, research faculty, being recruited by other countries. Massachusetts can't afford to lose the best and brightest talent that we have working here. This funding that the governor is proposing will show the nation that Massachusetts is willing to take a stand to protect discovery, research, and innovation and our state's economy. Governor Healey's proposal will be a lifeline to our private universities and public research universities and hospitals. I've talked to the presidents of public and private research universities across this country, in both red and blue states. And what Governor Healey is proposing is a national model for all states where research is critical to the economy. If we act together, we can continue to be the place where the brightest minds come to do their best work. It is now my pleasure to introduce a great innovative leader, Dr. Kevin Churchwell. He's a CEO of Boston's Children's Hospital, which, as all of you know, is one of our world-renowned children's hospitals, and we're so proud of his innovative leadership. Please welcome Dr. Churchwell.
Thank you, and thank you, Governor Healey, for always being a champion of science. You know I speak on behalf of all of us at Boston Children's, and I believe all of us in the healthcare environment, in our hospitals, in those enterprises, the universities, when I say we are proud to be part of Team Massachusetts. I'm going to make that a slogan now. I'm going to put that in my office. And the ecosystem that makes our state a global epicenter of discovery and innovation. As well known as Boston Children's is for the care that we provide, that care is constantly driven by our research mission. We are the home for more than 3,000 researchers. We are the largest research program for children in the world. Our special role in translating scientific discoveries to the bedside is especially important because children's issues tend to be under-researched. This is true for vaccines that we count on to keep us safe. Polio, measles, all of those were developed and started at Boston Children's. To the emerging discoveries in the fields of gene therapies, sickle cell, pediatric cancer immunotherapies, cystic fibrosis, are examples where our research, in collaboration across the institutions, have made an incredible difference and are creating the environment where the effect on our kids and on our patients and families is incredibly profound. We're providing them a future of hope. And with the support that is provided across the administration, the leadership of the governor, the leadership of our hospitals and universities, that's what's making the difference. We create good ideas. Good ideas are perfected over time. So you need to be in it for the long haul. We need to be a destination of choice for the very best people, recruiting, mentoring, providing the support needed to do those amazing things. You need partners building the kinds of bridges we have in Massachusetts between universities, academic medical centers, and industry. That partnership, that collaboration, we sometimes take for granted. I will tell you that's not happening across this country. And what's happening here and what happens here is incredibly special. And we need to have a profound sense of mission, the mission of trying to make the world a better place. Like everyone in this room, I'm deeply concerned, and we are deeply concerned that recently the federal policy that is being established is not forward-thinking. I say that as a joke, Governor. And so we're experiencing the cuts that everyone else is experiencing, the delays and most importantly, the unpredictability that threatens our global science leadership. We believe we are sending the worst possible message to our incoming researchers about the value and importance of their work. That's why I'm so excited by this proposed bill that recognizes the things that make us special and plays to our collective strengths. It will continue to position Massachusetts as the best place to do this work. Thank you, Governor Healey, and thanks to everyone who has worked to move this bill forward. Not only simply to secure the future of research and innovation in Massachusetts, but the promise of what that can deliver. The promise of what that can deliver not to just to Massachusetts, but to this nation and around the world. It's now my pleasure to introduce Frank Callahan, President of the Massachusetts Building Trades. Frank, so why don't you come up and give a few words.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm proud to be here today to represent the more than 75,000 men and women in Massachusetts who go to work every day, put on their boots, put on their work gloves and their hard hats, and go to work all across this Commonwealth with a union card in their pockets. Because that's what this means to me today. And I want to, before I begin, to thank Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, the array of leaders behind me from our higher ed sector, our hospital sector, our life sciences sector, and the larger business community for making sure that this happens to put many of those 75,000 men and women to work, not just for a job, although it certainly is going to create jobs, but to allow them to pursue careers with good wages, careers with complete and very good health insurance benefits that they utilize at some of the hospitals from the folks behind me. And after a lifetime of hard work, they enjoy a retirement that they deserve with dignity and respect. And along with that, that makes it all possible is these jobs and the apprenticeships and the training that our members receive. And in addition to the scientists and researchers and academics and doctors arrayed behind me, they are among the best in the world. They produce, they're productive, they do top quality work. As I was thinking about what I was going to say today, I was reminiscent of an initiative that was a little more than a decade ago with then Governor Patrick, when the life sciences industry was up for grabs. The entire world was seeking out ways to encourage investment in life sciences. Governor Patrick, then Governor Patrick, launched the Life Sciences Initiative, to great skepticism, I might add, for those of you who may not remember. And look where we are now. Today, as we stand in this hall, Massachusetts is not just the leader in the country, it's the leader in the world where the life sciences and biotech center of the entire world. And as part of that, in addition to creating huge innovations, great life sciences, and great medications, and great progress to provide the best, not just to the citizens of Massachusetts, the citizens of the United States, but the citizens of the world. It also created those other jobs. Now, often when we hear about initiatives like this, all we tend to hear, and the temptation is justified, is about those great innovations. We think of people in lab coats. We think about professors, doctors doing that work. But very little attention, unfortunately, is given to the workforce, not just to the people that I'm privileged to represent in the building trades, but the groundskeepers. My next door neighbor is a retired 93 years old. He was cutting his grass this morning, by the way. He worked for 40 years at Harvard University. He was an Italian immigrant, left Italy after World War II, and has a great quality of life. He's got a two-family house, raised his family, and he's enjoying a dignified retirement. He's just one small example. He'd be embarrassed if I told that story today. But our members that are working, I see Max Page from the Mass Teachers Association behind me, the teachers, the office staff, and all these support staff that the governor referenced in other industries. Those are jobs. This is truly an economic engine. And I applaud Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, as she said at the beginning of her remarks. We don't wait around in Massachusetts. We don't wait for other people to act. Back to, I think she referenced 250 years ago, the governor and I both live in Arlington. It all started in Lexington and Concord, but that's where the real fighting was done in Arlington. But we stood up. We fought back. We took a stand. We made progress. Massachusetts does not wait around. Whether this administration, this legislature, our business community, our labor community, and our community at large, we make things happen, and we're going to continue with this initiative, continue our progress, and create jobs and economic prosperity for the entire state. So thank you, Governor Healey, and it's my pleasure now and my honor to welcome Governor Healey back to the stage.
Thanks, Frank. Oh, God, it reminds me, I got to go cut my grass, too, back in Arlington. Listen, fantastic. I want to thank all the speakers for everything they just articulated. I want to thank this incredible assembly behind me. The breadth of the partnership reflected here is pretty amazing. There's everybody from every realm and sector, and I think what's important is, on this, everyone's together. This is where we need to be, Team Massachusetts. Everyone is together to power this forward. It's going to be awesome for our state. It's going to be so meaningful, I think, for this country, because I think it is the message that we need to send to the world. And I also think about, the early days when I heard about some of the federal cuts. I think one of the first places I visited was Children's, and met with the families who were just holding on to hope, and to know that we have men and women here in Massachusetts doing research, innovating cures to diseases and conditions, and they're right on the cusp. We have to continue to support for the sake of, in my view, humanity around the world. That's who benefits from Massachusetts leadership, truly, truly. So thanks to everybody. I was talking about Nobel Prizes. I think Harvard and MIT have probably won a few Nobel Prizes in addition to UMass. I wasn't trying to slight our great friends across the river. But thanks, everybody, and we look forward to making more announcements on this, and look forward to working with our colleagues in the legislature to see this through. We're happy to take any questions on topic. All right. All right, Carissa. On with the afternoon. Thanks, everybody.